Christmas Eve at the Sterling family estate always followed the same pattern. Expensive decorations. Catered dinner for 30. And my family discussing my money like I wasn't sitting right there. Morgan needs $500,000 for her new boutique hotel concept. Dad announced over cocktails, not asking, telling. It's a fantastic opportunity. You'll wire the money after dinner. My name is Cameron Sterling. I'm 27 years old. For the past 8 years I'd been funding my older sister Morgan's business ventures, while my family told everyone I worked as a financial consultant, nothing special. What they didn't know was that I'd founded Apex Capital Management, a hedge fund managing $4.3 billion in assets. My personal net worth was $890 million. And sitting in a conference room at the Ritz-Carlton 3 miles away, federal auditors and bank fraud investigators were reviewing evidence that would destroy my family's Christmas and their freedom. Cameron. Mom touched my arm. Did you hear your father? Morgan needs the investment by Monday. I heard, I said quietly, sipping my wine. Morgan lounged on the designer sofa, the one I'd purchased during her interior design phase 3 years ago. That venture had cost me $800,000 before she quit after 8 months. Before that was the organic cosmetics line, $1.2 million, failed in 6 months. The artisanal bakery, $600,000, closed in 4 months. And the yoga studio chain, $2.4 million, bankrupt within a year. Every failed business funded by me. Every loss blamed on bad timing or market conditions. Never on Morgan's complete lack of work ethic or business sense. This hotel concept is different, Morgan said, scrolling through her phone. Boutique luxury in the Hamptons. I've already found the perfect property. Only $3.2 million. I nearly choked on my wine. $3 million. Well, $500,000 for the down payment, she clarified. You can finance the rest. Your credit is good, right? My credit was perfect. Because unlike my family, I actually paid my bills and didn't commit fraud. But that was about to change, for them, not me. Morgan's 34. I said carefully. She's had 7 businesses in 8 years. All failed. Why would a hotel be different? Dad's expression hardened. Because family supports family, Cameron. We invested in your education, your upbringing. You owe us. I've given Morgan over $6 million in 8 years, I said. How much more do I owe? Don't be selfish, Mom snapped. You're young, single, no responsibilities. Morgan has a lifestyle to maintain. Morgan's lifestyle included a penthouse apartment, $8,500 monthly rent I paid, a Range Rover, $1,400 monthly payment I covered, and a wardrobe that cost more than most people's annual salary. All funded by me while she found herself, through failed business ventures. My younger cousins, Jake and Sophie, sat quietly in the corner watching the conversation like a tennis match. They were in college working part-time jobs, actually earning their way. Nobody demanded they fund Morgan's delusions. I'll think about it, I said. Think about it? Dad stood up, face reddening. We're not asking, Cameron. We're telling you. Morgan needs this investment. You'll provide it. End of discussion. I checked my watch. 6:47 p.m. In 13 minutes my guests would arrive. Actually, Dad, I've invited some people to join us for dinner. I hope that's okay. Mom frowned. People? Who? We have a set guest list. The doorbell rang. I stood. That would be them. I opened the door to reveal 6 people. Victoria Chin, CEO of Manhattan First Bank. Robert Morrison, Federal Bank Fraud Investigator. FBI Special Agent Davis. My attorney Jennifer Park. Forensic accountant Thomas Wright. And Michael Zhang, senior partner at the law firm handling my case. Good evening, Victoria said, her voice carrying across the suddenly silent foyer. I'm Victoria Chin, CEO of Manhattan First Bank. We're here to discuss some urgent financial matters concerning the Sterling family. Morgan's wine glass slipped from her hand, shattering on the marble floor. Dad recovered first. This is outrageous. Cameron, who are these people? Dad, everyone please sit, I said calmly. Victoria, thank you for coming. The 30 guests, family members, family friends, business associates, stared in confusion as this group of official-looking strangers entered the formal dining room. Victoria opened her briefcase, pulling out a tablet that connected to the room's display screen. normally used for showing family vacation photos. Financial documents appeared instead. Let's begin with context, Victoria said. Cameron Sterling is not a financial consultant. He's the founder and managing partner of Apex Capital Management, one of the most successful hedge funds established in the last decade. Assets under management, $4.3 billion. Personal net worth, $890 million. The room erupted. Gasps. Shocked whispers. My aunt literally grabbed her chest. Morgan stood up, face pale. That's impossible. Cameron barely makes six figures. Cameron made $127 million last year, Victoria continued. His fund has consistently outperformed the market by 340 basis points. He's regarded as one of the most talented fund managers of his generation. She pulled up more documents. Now let's discuss where some of that money went. Over 8 years, Cameron has given his sister Morgan $6.2 million for various business ventures. All failed. But the concerning part isn't the gifts, it's what happened after Cameron stopped giving willingly. Robert Morrison stepped forward. I'm a federal bank fraud investigator. 18 months ago, we were alerted to suspicious activity on Cameron Sterling's accounts. Credit cards opened without authorization. Business loans using his credit and forged signatures. Even a commercial property mortgage listing him as co-borrower, all without his knowledge. Thomas Wright pulled up documents. Total fraudulent debt accumulated in Cameron's name, $8.4 million. The perpetrators. His parents, Richard and Helen Sterling, and his sister, Morgan Sterling. Mom made a choking sound. Dad's face went from red to white in seconds. That's insane. Morgan shouted. Cameron gave me permission. Did I? I asked quietly. Show them the permission. Show them where I authorized you to open 17 business credit cards in my name. Show them where I agreed to co-sign a $2.8 million commercial mortgage for a property I've never seen. Agent Davis opened his folder. We have security footage from 9 different banks showing Morgan Sterling and Richard Sterling signing loan applications in Cameron's name. We have handwriting analysis confirming forgery. We have electronic records proving the applications originated from the Sterling family IP addresses. Jennifer Park addressed the stunned crowd. This isn't a family dispute. This is systematic financial fraud spanning 8 years. Identity theft. Credit fraud. Wire fraud. Forgery. These are federal crimes carrying sentences of up to 30 years. We're his family. Dad found his voice. Everything we did was to help Morgan succeed. Cameron has the money. He should want to help. Help. I stood up. I gave Morgan $6.2 million. I funded 7 failed businesses. I paid her rent for 6 years. I covered her car, her credit cards, her lifestyle. And when I finally said no, when I finally set a boundary, you stole from me. Victoria pulled up more evidence. The commercial mortgage for Morgan's failed yoga studio chain? Cameron was listed as primary borrower. He didn't discover this until the business defaulted and the bank came after his assets. That's when he contacted me. We've spent 18 months documenting everything, Thomas said. Every forged signature. Every fraudulent account. Every loan taken in Cameron's name without his knowledge. The evidence is overwhelming. Robert Morrison pulled out arrest warrants. Richard Sterling, Helen Sterling, Morgan Sterling, you're under arrest for conspiracy to commit bank fraud, identity theft, wire fraud, and forgery. No. Morgan screamed. Cameron, please. Tell them this is a mistake. It's not a mistake, I said. You stole $8.4 million from me. You forged my signature dozens of times. You put my entire fund at risk because when Morgan's businesses failed, which they always did, the creditors came after me. Agent Davis began reading Miranda rights as he handcuffed my father. Mom was crying. Morgan was screaming. And 30 guests recorded everything on their phones. My aunt stood up. Cameron, how can you do this? On Christmas Eve? To your own family? How could they commit federal crimes for 8 years? I countered. How could they steal millions while telling everyone I was barely scraping by? How could they put my entire life's work at risk to fund Morgan's delusions? Jennifer addressed the crowd. For those wondering about the severity, the commercial mortgage default alone could have triggered a complete audit of Cameron's fund. If the SEC had discovered he was listed as co-borrower on a defaulted commercial loan, it could have destroyed his fund's credibility and cost his investors billions. I didn't know it would do that. Morgan sobbed as Agent Davis cuffed her. You didn't care, I said flatly. You never asked what I did for a living. You never asked if I could afford your requests. You just assumed my money was your money and took whatever you wanted. Victoria pulled up one final document. The $500,000 Morgan was demanding tonight? For a boutique hotel? We tracked the supposed perfect property. It doesn't exist. This was another scheme to extract money from Cameron for Morgan's personal expenses. The room gasped. Morgan's face crumbled. There is no hotel, Victoria continued. There never was. Just another lie to justify taking more money. This is why we moved tonight, to prevent another $500,000 from being stolen. As they led my parents and sister out in handcuffs, past a dining room full of witnesses, Dad called back. You're destroying your family over money. What kind of son does that? The kind who's tired of being robbed, I replied. The front door closed. 30 people sat in stunned silence. Finally, my uncle spoke. Cameron, we had no idea. About your success or about what they were doing. Most people didn't, I said. That was intentional. I built my fund quietly. Lived modestly. Avoided attention. I wanted to succeed on merit, not family name or connections. My cousin Sophie found her voice. The businesses Morgan started. We thought you were partners. That you believed in her ideas. I believed in family, I said. I thought if I supported her enough, she'd eventually succeed. But she never wanted to work. He just wanted my money. And when I finally said no, she stole it. Jennifer closed her briefcase. The criminal case will proceed quickly. The evidence is overwhelming. Your family will likely accept plea deals to avoid trial. Expect prison time, massive restitution requirements, and asset seizures. Everything they own was purchased with stolen money, Thomas added. The penthouse Morgan lives in? Paid for with a fraudulent loan in your name. Your parents' cars, their vacation home, their investment accounts. All financed through fraud. It'll all be liquidated. Victoria stood. Cameron, I'm sorry we had to do this tonight. But you were right. If we'd waited, they would have pressured you into another transfer. This needed to end. Thank you, I said sincerely. For believing me. For investigating. For protecting my fund and my investors. After they left, I stood in the foyer surrounded by shocked relatives. The Christmas tree twinkled. Catered food sat untouched. And my family was in FBI custody. What happens now? Jake asked quietly. Now they face consequences, I said. Prison time. Restitution. The destruction of everything they built on stolen credit. And I rebuild relationships with people who actually respect boundaries. The aftermath came swiftly. My parents and Morgan pleaded guilty to avoid trial. Dad got 12 years federal prison. Mom got 10. Morgan got 15. Her sentences stacked because she'd been the primary perpetrator. The penthouse was seized. The Range Rover repossessed. My parents' vacation home, their investment accounts, even Mom's jewelry collection. All liquidated to pay restitution. Total recovered $3.2 million. They'd spent the other $5.2 million on lifestyle, failed businesses, and maintaining appearances. The story went viral. Hedge fund billionaire's family arrested for stealing $8.4 million during Christmas dinner. Every business publication covered it. Every family friend who'd pitted me for being the less successful sibling suddenly knew the truth. Morgan's social media, carefully curated images of luxury and success, became evidence exhibits. Every designer outfit, every first-class vacation, every entrepreneur life post was tagged with fraud documentation showing I'd unwittingly funded it. I sold my stake in Apex Capital Management for $840 million and started a new fund focused on ethical investing. Launched a foundation providing legal aid for financial fraud victims. The first applicant, a woman whose daughter had stolen $400,000 over 10 years. I didn't know I could say no, she wrote. I thought parents had to give everything. I funded her case. She won. Last I heard, her daughter was serving time and she'd started therapy. Sophie and Jake stayed in touch. They'd witnessed the arrest, understood the betrayal, and chose me over the family members who'd stolen from me. We had dinner monthly, Dutch treat, no money discussed. 3 years after that Christmas, I received a letter from Morgan. Written from federal prison. I destroyed everything, it read. Not just my relationship with you, my entire life. I'm 37 in prison with nothing. No businesses. No money. No future. And it's because I spent 15 years believing I deserved your success without earning my own. I'm sorry doesn't begin to cover it. But I am. Sorry. For all of it. I kept the letter. Didn't respond. Maybe someday I would. For now, I had a fund to run, investors to serve, and a life to live without the constant drain of people who saw my success as their entitlement. The Christmas Eve arrest became legendary in financial circles. A cautionary tale about family exploitation. A reminder that success doesn't obligate you to fund other people's failures. And every Christmas Eve since, I host dinner at my home. Small group. Close friends. People who celebrate my success instead of stealing from it. We toast to boundaries. To consequences. To the freedom that comes from finally saying no. Meaning it. 5 years later, the foundation had helped 2,000 victims. Each grant I signed felt like rewriting the narrative. Family fraud wasn't about ungrateful children. It was about exploitation disguised as love. Morgan was released after serving 12 years. She didn't contact me. According to Sophie, she worked at a coffee shop, lived in a studio apartment, attended financial literacy classes. Good. She was learning what I'd always known. Money earned honestly means something. Money stolen means nothing. My fund crossed $10 billion in assets. Forbes called me the hedge fund manager who said no. The subtitle was perfect. Sometimes the most profitable investment is the one you refuse to make.